Someone's back in the news, and Hollywood is trying to make sure you don't listen to him. That's James Woods, who's having to go through the most heartless of political attacks from the far left over his house tragically burning down in California. But this has also unearthed a clip where he exposed how he was blacklisted from mainstream Hollywood over his political stance. Just take a look at this exchange with Megyn Kelly, because there's so much that I want to tell you about.
Let me speak to that for a second, if I may.
Yeah.
I have several friends, because I've had my life threatened more times than I can tell you for my political views. I've had my career destroyed because of it. I had an agent who probably was 20 beers deep when he did it. On the 4th of July, send me a text and say, I'm feeling patriotic today. I'm going to drop you as a client. Let me rephrase that. Here's what he really meant. You vote differently from me in the United States of America, so you don't deserve to have the career that you worked your ass off for 40 years, and I'm going to destroy it and blacklist you. And that's what this piece of shit did. Pardon my French. Okay.
No,
now the good news is he lost his biggest client.
Wow, so is that why we're hardly even seeing this Oscar-nominated actor with a 5-decade-long career? We know Hollywood is an echo chamber, but James Woods may be one of the highest-profile actors from the past generation to be shunned like this. By the way, we're having some really important conversations here every day, so be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to become part of the circle. Now, I actually dug up that email that James posted nearly 7 years ago exposing his agent, and it says exactly what he claimed word for word. And that got me thinking, if this is how brazen the industry was in purging itself of political dissent, just how many other smaller names in the industry faded away from public memory? Because remember, this culture of silently blacklisting actors is a remnant of the McCarthyism era, when the movie business shut out anyone they thought had pro-communist or pro-Soviet sentiments, and while the particular reason may have dropped, those tactics have only morphed to help this new woke tide in Hollywood take the reins and close doors to whoever they want. What I found most surprising was what James Woods said next when he claimed he wasn't even made part of the promotions and acceptance speeches for a film like Oppenheimer, which he was an executive producer for simply because he was controversial.
And then I said, well, I've got to find a way to pull myself up by my bootstraps. And thanks to two wonderful people in my life, David Wargo, my friend from MIT, and my glorious best friend for my entire career in Hollywood, a man I helped get into the business, Chuck Roven. The three of us together, David and I brought Chuck a book called American Prometheus and said, do you think you can call your associate and friend, Chris Nolan, see if you could get him interested in this project that we've been trying to get off the ground for 5 years? And he did, and the rest was history. And I was able, thank God, up by my bootstraps. And, and it was wonderful when Chuck, won the Oscar. And the first thing he did was thank myself and David. First thing out of his mouth.
That was sweet justice even for me, James, even where I was, just to see them have to thank you and see you back with the award winning. I mean, it won every award, Oppenheimer did. And they had to thank you. And that was sincere. But like everyone in Hollywood had to bow down and say, this was a great idea.
That sounds totally insane if you ask me, and it says a lot about James Woods that he simply stepped aside and gave all of that spotlight away to the hundreds of people behind the camera that worked for years on the film. And even if his name was said on stage during the acceptance speech, that's still an incredible disservice to the man and a sign of the fault lines that exist in Hollywood today. Now, surprisingly enough, this isn't even the first time that James Woods has come out and exposed the censorious and narrow ideological nature of Hollywood. Came out nearly 7 years ago when Hollywood's cancel culture had a lot more sway, and said while speaking in support of Brendan Fraser when he came out as a victim of assault in the industry, and that controversy sidelined him from a lot of projects. He wrote, quote, I too was blacklisted by the individual at HFPA after 9 Golden Globe nominations. During a press junket with HFPA, he asked if I would support Hillary Clinton if she ever ran for president, never nominated again. Despite that, it was quite a revelation to see that James wasn't willing to mete out the same treatment to others in the industry on the basis of ideological or political difference.
I don't really have any woke friends, but I do have a lot of dear, lovely Democrat friends. And I read that you're actually friends with Rob Reiner too, who is he's one of the biggest Trump critics. That's a big, you worked very early on together, I understand. You maintained the friendship.
Well, it was the same movie, but let me say something about Rob. Okay? Rob Reiner, boy, this quote's going to hit it. Rob Reiner is a patriot. And by that, I mean he is passionate about ideas that he believes in. Hey, it's the United States of America. You can believe what you want. And the things that he believes in are to him the way to make America great again. Now, it may not be great in the way that some of the ideas I'd like to see to make America great again. It may not be that. We may not have an equivalency there. But I believe that he truly cares about this country, and it's one of the reasons he's so passionate. I think he's very wrong about a lot of his social progressive ideas. But he's entitled to that.
And what does he get in return from his left-wing friends in Hollywood and the media at large? Well, not from Rob Reiner. We've seen some pretty ugly responses online to James losing his home in Los Angeles to the raging wildfires, with one activist and professor named Karen Piper even going so far as to say this in a now-deleted tweet. Can you imagine something uglier at a time like this, using such a devastating event to rub their politics in someone's face? Now, thankfully for James, he reported that his house was largely undamaged, saying, quote, "One side untouched, the other utter destruction. While we rejoice to find our house intact in the midst of a hellscape like this, you can only think of your neighbors. I was so certain our house was gone a day ago, but the fickle finger of fate decided otherwise." But the pain of uncertainty before that was too much to bear, even to the point that James Woods shed a few tears on air during an interview.
When we couldn't get our garage door open because the wind was blocking, because our door goes up like this, I said, "Oh my God, we're up in the hills here. And we got to walk out." I'm 77 years old, man. I can't walk up these hills. It's like Mount Everest here. It's like, pretty steep. So, it's just, I posted this on X, but Sarah was on with her 8-year-old niece last night. And she came out. I'm sorry. Just, one day you're swimming in the pool and the next day it's all gone. But she came out with her little Yeti piggy bank for us to rebuild our house. I'm sorry. I thought I would be stronger than this. I thought I'd be stronger than this, but
I think James Woods personifies what a lot of people are going through simultaneously in their personal and professional lives, but it hurts a lot more when the people you thought would be with you instead use it against you. But let me know in the comments how you process all of this, because as the dust settles, the rubble left behind by these wildfires will tell a lot more stories than we currently know of.